Hey everybody, Dr. Rafich here, Vet Triage. It's 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, and August 15th, Thursday. So let's talk about veterinary conferences. I was just at the Super Zoo this week in Las Vegas, which features exhibitors that are trying to sell various pet products, whether it be reptile tanks, chew toys for dogs, um, calming agents for cats, ear treatments, wound treatments, hoof treatments for horses, variety of products. Not veterinary directed per se, definitely directed towards the consumer. So let's talk about veterinary conferences in general. For those who don't know, veterinarians have to maintain their license by accumulating continuing education hours, CE credits. They do so by going to lectures or webinars, labs that are approved by an organization called RACE, RACE. And these RACE approved talks give you a certain number of hours, depending on the length of it and what you're doing there. Every state in the US has different requirement for how many CE hours they want. And sometimes it's yearly, sometimes every other year, whatever. Anyway, the biggest draw for veterinarians to go to conferences, for those who don't know, is CE credits. That's most common. And hopefully, they can get all of their CE required for the next year or two from one conference. Sometimes not the case. And you have to go to multiple conferences or combine them with webinars and whatever else. But there are other reasons to go to conferences. Another one would be that you want to buy stuff. And you can especially try to buy stuff on sale. You can negotiate the terms of what things cost. These are things like surgical instruments, textbooks, that kind of stuff, and diagnostics, treatments, whatever from the distributors or the companies, and order stuff and either purchase it right then and there, or place an order and have it arrive to you, or buy it later on. But it's a great place to purchase things that you're looking for, especially at a discounted rate, and to establish a relationship with the person. Instead of going to a website and just buying it, or going to a store, you can talk to somebody who represents the company. Third reason is networking. It's a great place to meet people. Moving ahead in life, a lot of times the combination of the right time and who you know. And so meeting folks there is invaluable depending on what your goals are. It's great for veterinary students who want internships and residencies. They can talk to hospitals there and who have those programs and try to establish a relationship with them. It's great for people veterinarians and veterinary technicians who want to find work in the veterinary field. It's great for someone like me, for example, for Vet Triage. Just talk about Vet Triage and get folks to be exposed to what we're trying to do here with the platform. So it's a great place for networking. So that's also a huge benefit there. And then otherwise, there are times they try to entice you to go to conferences because the area is really pretty, like San Diego, or sometimes they have ones that are out of the country, like Costa Rica. There are ones that are overseas as well. But people who like to go skiing, Colorado, things like that. So you can visit a new area too. It's a nice way of doing it. And they'll have like special concerts, comedy shows, whatever, that are exclusive for the participants of the conference to go see. So I've seen Jay Leno do stand up there, for example. They had Magic Johnson recently as a keynote speaker. So those are other reasons to go. Yeah, and then otherwise, it's a great place to catch up with current colleagues, ex-colleagues, friends, students, etc. It's a nice place to catch up because everybody needs CE, and so it's a good way to kind of have a vacation without a real vacation. So it's nice. The veterinarians that usually go to these conferences, they usually get a stipend from their employer that allows them to a certain number of thousands of dollars to cover expenses for CE. Typically, it's like $3,000. But anyway, it just depends on your employer. And then veterinary technicians are becoming increasingly more abundant at these conferences as well. They're having technician specific courses. They even have hospital manager courses or lectures rather. So it's good that they're starting to see the hospital as a whole and not just focusing on the doctors who, are the most common participants of these conferences. Yeah, and so that's the deal with conferences. I would say downsides to them, they can be expensive depending on where they're making you travel. It can be a bit annoying to take off of work, or sometimes they have it, on like a Sunday to a Wednesday or something. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes the conferences don't really have like the best food that's included with your ticket, and a lot of times you have to eat the food at the conference because you're in a big hotel. There's not a lot of restaurants there, and the restaurants that are there are just packed because everybody's trying to eat better food. So you wait on a long line to get the food that's included in your attendance, and it's just not great. So that's always a complaint. Another is that some conferences, they're not great at balancing the distribution of time, where veterinarians are in lecture and then into the exhibit hall where they can talk to vendors and things. So that could be also a bit of point of frustration. Sometimes the location that you're going to a conference is very difficult to get to, whether it requires multiple flights. Like, for example, when I've gone to Alaska, it's at least 2 flights to get there. There are some places where, like DC, for example, it's just difficult to find parking and stuff if you rent a car, so it just depends. Some conferences are really, really big and you're walking all across this massive hotel. Sometimes it's between 2 buildings, 2 hotels, or the same hotel with a bridge in between them or whatever. So there are those things too that are challenges. There's no perfect system with this kind of thing. And hopefully when you go to these lectures, you're actually learning something and not just going there for the hours. But, sometimes you have to go to lectures because you got to fill up the time for hours. So you do what you got to do. Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to stop. Thanks to those who are watching the playback. Please subscribe, hit like, share, donate, support the channel. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow, Friday, August 16th, probably around the same time as now. We'll see. But yep, thanks for those who are watching. Take care.